Maybe you've never done a bend before, or maybe you've tried them and you think you've already mastered this technique. Either way, I want to share something that will help you get more out of your guitar bends to make your rhythm and lead guitar sound even better. There are three main ways that you can change bends. If you want a really great example of different bends, listen to the guitar solo in the song November Rain by Guns N' Roses. The first way you can change bends is by changing the interval. Interval is just a fancy way of saying the distance between two notes. There are 4 different intervals that you can bend. The first interval is the very common full step bend. When doing a bend, fret any note, pick that note, and then while holding the string onto the fretboard, push the string up. If you are doing a bend on the A string or the low E string, I recommend bending the string down like this. If you try bending these strings up, there's a good chance you'll push the string off the fretboard and it will make a terrible sound like this. Bonus bending tip: you should always use as many fingers as possible to help with the bend. If you want to do a full step bend on the 7th fret of the G string with your 3rd finger, then you should also use your 1st and 2nd finger to help with the bend. By using your 1st and 2nd finger along with your 3rd finger, you'll have more power and control of your bend. When doing a full step bend, the note should have the same pitch as the note 2 frets higher on the 9th fret. This is a great way to make sure you're bending your notes to the right pitch. Here's an example of how you can practice this. To make sure you're getting the right pitch, you can also practice bends while using a tuner. The second bend interval is a half step bend. If you do a half step bend with your 1st finger on the 5th fret of the B string, the bent note should have the same pitch as the note 1 fret higher on the 6th fret. The third bend interval is a quarter step bend. This is a very small bend. It's half of a half step bend. So the bent note won't even match the pitch of the note 1 fret higher. Here's an example of a quarter step bend on the 13th fret of the B string. You can hear that the bent note doesn't even match the note 1 fret higher. This bend is great to use on the 3rd or 4th fret of the low E string, or in a double stop bend. You'll learn more about those in another lesson. The 4th and final bend interval is the greater than full step bend. This could be a bend of 1.5 steps, 2 steps, or more. These bends can be hard to do, but if you do this bend on the high E string or the B string and use all of your fretting hand fingers to help with the bend, then you'll be able to pull it off. Here's an example on the 15th fret of the high E string. So the 4 bend intervals are quarter step, half step, full step, and greater than full step. But you don't always have to do bends the same way. You can change the shape of the bend in almost endless ways. You can do a bend and release, bend, release, and a pre-bend release. Each one of these can be done with quarter step bends, half step bends, full step bends, or greater than full step bends. If you repeat the bend shapes or play different bend shapes in a row, then you can create even more cool sounds. Here's the pre-bend release done a few times in a row. And here's a few bend shapes played in a row. Plus, in future lessons, I'm going to show you special combination techniques. One of these is a pre-bend release with picking. It looks and sounds like this. The third and final way to change your bends is speed. You can add even more variety to your guitar playing by doing bends slow or fast. So not only can you change your bends by doing them faster or slower, you can also mix it up by changing how much you bend the string with a quarter, half, full, or greater than full step bend. You can even mix up your bends by changing the bend shape. Whether it's a regular bend, bend and release and bend, or pre-bend release, there are so many options. The only limit is your creativity. Play around with these different bends and start mixing it into your lead guitar playing.